Welcome into the Analyst in the Armchair, an NFL podcast where one host is obsessed with stats and spreadsheets, and the other just really loves yelling at the TV on game day and has plenty of opinions. Together, Michelle and Nycole dive into player news, weekly matchups, and all the storylines you'll be talking about with your friends. Whether you're a hardcore or casual football fan, they've got something for you.
Welcome into the Analyst and the Armchair. I'm Michelle, the Analyst part of the show. This is Nycole, the Armchair. And we're here every week, even during the off season. But there's so much going on in the NFL in the off season. We have the Combine this week. We have free agency starting up, in a week and a half. Then we have the draft. And then we're right into basically training camp. Basically, we have that dead period. It's 6 weeks where it's terrible for content creators.
Sure.
It's miserable, but for the most part, NFL's pretty nice to us with just giving us so much information.
That's right.
Right. You were saying how much you don't enjoy talking about the offseason. Well, I'm the opposite. You like talking about the games more. I like predicting what could happen because I can't be wrong immediately,
Yeah.
I like making
you're
up
good
things.
at that in the regular season. Good at being wrong. So, I don't know. I'm more of an armchair, right? I want to react to something.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, when there's not guys playing football, it's hard to have an opinion about that.
Yeah, I just want to be a GM of a team.
Yeah.
So I think all GMs are stupid, they're making the wrong decisions.
Sure.
So I try to make all the decisions in my head and place players, do contracts in my own head.
Which, to be fair, last week, if you caught our episode, Michelle, her 2-minute warning was the trade she was looking to see. And I will tell you, the Instagram trolls did not like her take.
They did not.
It was wild, the amount of comments based on your 49ers AJ Brown trade.
Yeah, they did not like that.
Did not like it. And honestly, I was here for it. Anytime they're coming at Michelle, I'm like, okay. But
yeah,
honestly,
I'm here for it too. Make fun of me if you want.
Watch you be right though. It would be wild.
It would be.
And then because this is how petty I am, I would go back to that post in 6 months and be like, you looking real dumb, Mikey 2.0,
Yeah.
Yeah. I love to troll a man on social media. So.
The ones, especially the ones that are like, get back in the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what women should have. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because you were so great, Tommy.
Yeah.
When you played, when you were 14 and you couldn't even
I'm
make
sure
varsity.
he blew out his knee.
I'm
couldn't
sure it was
play through high
because of an
school.
injury.
It's fine.
Anyway.
We have so much news actually to get through that has happened over the last week. Some guys getting tagged, some guys getting new contracts, some rumors about some quarterbacks that teams are just so desperate for, apparently, that they're stooping low right now. So we'll get all into that starting right now.
The opening drive.
We have 2 guys franchise tagged. Now, teams still have until March 3rd to tag a player if they want to. Each team gets to tag 1 player that would be a free agent, but now is keeping them from entering the free market. So George Pickens and Kyle Pitts, congratulations, or I'm sorry, depending on what you wanted, right? These guys are now guaranteed to make a lot of money in 2026. However, they can't go to the free market and sign whatever contract with whatever team they want. However, they can still sign a big contract with the Falcons or the Cowboys, or even get traded and still get that big contract. So George Pickens, only 24 years old. He does turn 25 soon, but had a career year, over 1,400 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns. I feel like the Cowboys had to tag him, and they should be figuring out a way to extend him. It's just hard because they're already paying CeeDee Lamb so much.
Totally. Yeah, I agree with you here. I mean, he's young enough where I do think it was the right move, but kind of stinks for him because he had this really great year.
Yeah.
And he could go make a lot of money and get
and
a
he
big
still
contract. Well, sure, but he could go and start with a new team now.
Yeah.
Whereas he might be there for a year and then start this process.
He did already say he wouldn't play on the tag. It's hard because players don't really have a say. There's not a lot of control they have. The team has control. So he can say that, and hopefully the Cowboys figure it out and get him that extension. But Kyle Pitts, I actually get this one on both sides because I think for the Falcons, I'm not giving Kyle Pitts a long-term contract right now. I'll give you the franchise tag. I'll see if you keep doing what you're doing, what you did last year, but it's been too much disappointment from you to give you a long-term contract.
Well, and with their uncertainty at quarterback and what they're doing, I mean, I guess it makes sense to have some stability in that position for the time being on offense.
But like, so his rookie year, amazing, over 1,000 yards, only one touchdown. Like he's really struggled with touchdowns in his career. It is crazy throughout his 5 years in his career. It's been 1 touchdown in his first year, 2 touchdowns in his second year, 3 touchdowns in his third year, 4 touchdowns in his fourth year, 5 touchdowns in his fifth year.
Huh. I wonder if he's like, coach, it's my 6th year. I gotta get 6.
I gotta get
this year.
6, yeah.
Like I gotta get some good juju going.
He's
you
gonna be
know?
a great fantasy asset in his 12th year.
Yeah.
Amazing. We'll be
Right.
drafting him then. But
Yeah.
all of his best games came with Kirk Cousins. So he stepped it up at the end of this year, but it was all with Kirk Cousins. He averaged nearly 60 receiving yards per game in the games he played with Kirk Cousins, only 39 receiving yards per game with Michael Penix Jr. He scored 4 of his 5 touchdowns this year with Cousins. They were from Cousins, only 1 with Penix. The whole thing is they're going to cut Kirk Cousins at the start of this new year. He's gone.
Right.
So now it's Penix. Can they connect?
I see, and I don't like this for the Falcons. I think it's a silly choice. I think Kirk Cousins, like,
Oh, you don't like that they're moving on from Kirk Cousins?
right,
Okay.
right. I mean, honestly, I'm like, hey, Kirk, do you want to come hang out in Houston? Right? Like,
Mhm.
I mean, you know, I like Kirk
Mhm.
Cousins, so you know, I think this is a mistake on the Falcons' part, but I mean, I guess they have to go with their gut and see what they've got in Penix Jr., which I feel like you got to see last year, and
I'm calling it right now. Kirk ends up back with the Vikings. He goes back with Kevin Stefanski, where he was great with.
Intrigue.
Kevin O'Connell. Stefanski's with the Falcons.
Right.
Who's letting him go. Again, do you just not want a quarterback, Stefanski? You dealt with the Browns with no quarterback forever. And now, like, maybe Michael Penix Jr. still only got to start with like 14 games. So
Mhm.
maybe he can develop and become better. But
off of an ACL tear,
Yeah.
I mean, questionable.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it seems like he put himself into another situation with no quarterback.
Which apparently is what he likes.
Yeah. But I mean, I get why the Falcons have to move on from Kirk, but I think he ends up back with the Vikings, and maybe JJ can sit another year or 2 under Kirk.
It's a good take.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good take. I like
Thank
it.
you. Now, news yesterday came out that the GM of the Jets was like, we're going to franchise tag Breece Hall if we don't get a long-term deal done with him by March 3rd. Let the man go.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You already let all your good pieces go. So I get it. Fans and the media are like, well, they need some good pieces. Yeah, but not at running back. Like, you needed to keep your elite corner in Sauce Gardner.
Right.
You needed to keep your elite defensive tackle. Like, those are the guys you need to keep in
Mhm.
Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner, not be like, we're going to hold on to Breece Hall for dear life. Like,
for nothing.
for nothing.
To win 3 games.
Yes. Like,
Maybe.
it's not going to win you any more games.
Mhm.
And I'm like, Braylon Allen, yeah, he's coming off a torn MCL, but that happened in late September. It's not an ACL. He will be perfectly fine by
Mhm.
September rolls around. I'm sure he would have been back late last year if they weren't a miserable team and had no chance to win.
Mhm.
Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, a fine 1-2 punch for a bad team. And then you can add a different guy if you don't feel great about it, Enrico Dotto or Kenneth Gainwell,
Mhm.
and it'll be so much cheaper than Breece Hall.
You're not in a position to keep a guy like
No,
this.
it makes no
especially on a
sense.
tag. Yeah. Right.
Now, if they tag him so they can trade him and be like, we want to get something for drafting Breece Hall,
Mhm.
totally get it. But do not give him a long-term contract.
No.
Jets.
And maybe they just came out and said that as like a, you know,
A way to up the trade offers
right,
or something.
right. Like, I mean, I could see that, I guess, happening, but
Mhm.
honestly, everything they've got going on over there, I can't imagine that they were thinking like that.
The Jets are just so bad.
It's not good.
No,
It's not
See, this is when I think just hire me as GM. I can't be worse. I cannot be worse than what the Jets have put out for the last 15 years.
Yeah. Hey, give her a shot.
Yeah, come on.
I like it.
Yeah. Javonte Williams gets a 3-year, $24 million extension with the Cowboys. I think it's super fair. He had a best year of his career by far, over 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns, 13 scrimmage touchdowns. Like, Cowboys, it would have been depleted in their backfield and had to pay up for somebody anyways. I'm okay with this Javonte Williams signing. It's not outrageous. It's $8 million a year.
Yeah. And he was the man last year.
Yeah.
And I think for fantasy folks, you were like, huh, this is enjoyable. So yeah, I think this is a good move on the Cowboys.
And he's going to be a good value. Right now, he's sitting at running back 22 cost
See,
for fantasy next year. We'll see if it increases, but
Yeah,
I'm sure it will.
it's got
But
to.
still, he finishes running back 12. That's a nice little, might like
Little
some
cushion.
Javonte Williams
Maybe
price
so.
next year. This is where you come in. I need to know your thoughts as a Texans fan. So at the combine, we get great quotes from GMs and coaches, but GM Nick Caserio for the Texans said that any of the talks around the team trading away their quarterback, CJ Stroud, this offseason is moronic. Moronic. Nycole, what are your thoughts about that?
It's bold, but I like the passion and I like the definitiveness around it. I know there are certain things that CJ's doing and has said and cut his whole hair off and did a whole thing.
Cutting his hair
You
is
haven't
going to
seen it?
change everything.
Oh,
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell if you were making fun of me
I
or
was.
making fun of me, and you. Were
I was
doing
making
both.
fun of Stroud, not you.
No, I mean it seems like he's willing to put in the work to get it done this season
By cutting off his hair?
by you're so rude. By focusing a lot more.
What was he
of
doing
his
last year?
energy and time. I don't know, but he didn't go to the what, not All-Star weekend. What is the NFL one? Whatever.
Pro Bowl?
That one.
Mhm.
Like he was like, no, I'm locked in. Like I don't want to deal with the
Also, it would have been
shenanigans, right?
embarrassing if you made the Pro Bowl this year. And it would have been made fun of like Shedeur Sanders was.
Well, yeah, and I mean that's on Shedeur for going and doing
Oh,
it.
I'm
But
pretty sure they begged him. He was the
anyway.
last quarterback choice possible.
yeah, I guess I could see that. But here's the thing. I think I like the definitiveness from the team. And honestly, if we're gonna go with the guy, then he's got to be the guy. And like maybe it's figuring out a way for him to understand he doesn't have to play hero ball. He doesn't have to be this amazing, wonderful top 3 quarterback, but you have to be a playmaker. And focusing on that this offseason. So, I mean, I don't hate it. I know there were swirlings of like, what if we go out and get somebody like a Kyler Murray or whatever? But yeah, I don't mind it. Now, catch me in November, December. I might not be happy, but we'll see.
He has to make a big leap this year. What's nice is that he cannot say anything about his contract right now, right? He could be if he performed in the playoffs and all that, he could be saying, I want to get paid $50 million a year right now. And it could be like, ooh, is he worth that? Or do we take the risk? Now it's like, just let me stay, right? Like, just let me keep my job. So they get another year to see him out before they have to pay him. And with the quarterback options out there right now, give him another shot and,
Why not?
and see what happens. Now, more reports coming out of the combine. John Lynch, the GM for the 49ers, came out to say that they would have to get a very strong offer to trade away Mac Jones. Now, this could just be GM speak and, trying to up his trade value. But I think at the same time, you got to trade away Mac Jones. You got to do it. He's never going to have more value ever. You only have him under contract one more year. Get something for him.
100%.
Like go trade him away. There's so many teams that need quarterbacks right now. The top free agent is Malik Willis. When that happens, that's an issue. And Malik Willis says he wants $30 million a year. So yeah, I think the teams are going to be calling about Mac Jones. And then Kyler Murray, I guess the reports say he has not spoken to the team since the season ended. Cardinals, Mike LaFleur. I get it. I don't think Kyler Murray is a top 8 quarterback in the league or whatever. He has his issues, but I promise you he's your best option right now.
At this point, yes.
So Mike LaFleur, if you want to start off your career good, get with him. He is a fine quarterback. He is a start-worthy quarterback. Stay with him for one more year. Also for the fact that you owe him so much money this year, you can get out of the contract next year. Stick it out one more year and see what can happen.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're just wasting money.
Yeah.
If you're gonna just
downgrade a quarterback,
and do nothing, right? Unless that's your goal is to just tank, and then hopefully there's a good quarterback coming out next year. But that feels like a lot of what ifs when you have a guy that's like, okay, we know what we're getting out of Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
So I agree with you wholeheartedly. I don't know what they're doing. Or why they haven't talked. I think that's a little silly.
Yeah. I don't even know how that happens. Like, what do you mean?
I don't either.
What do you mean?
Can you imagine
No.
just like not talking to your employer?
No. And them not reaching out to you either.
Yeah.
It's all very weird.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of egos involved. And
Yeah.
a lot more money than I make, but
And for my prediction last week, because last week we did biggest turnarounds to
Mhm.
happen, I picked the Cardinals. For that to happen, I need Mike
You-
LaFleur to pick up the phone
Right.
and call Kyler Murray.
right, you better hope he picks up the phone.
Please.
Or that'll be a take we're looking back on and be
Yeah.
like, oh, that was so bad.
Yeah. But now this week we're going to do the opposite. We're going to pick two teams that we think are going to have the biggest downfall. So teams that did very good this year that will kind of not fall apart, but just not be nearly as good as they were last year.
Between the 20s.
All right, this week we're getting negative. Last week we were very positive. We talked about 4 teams that we thought were going to make big step ups from last year to this year. I mentioned, I brought up the Giants and the Cardinals. Those were my 2 teams I think will make the biggest turnarounds.
Mhm.
Again, Kyler Murray, I need you there. And then your 2 teams were the Commanders and the Bengals.
Yes.
This week, the opposite exercise. Teams that were very good that are going to take a bit of a step back. Now, your 2 teams are hot and spicy. Both of them finished very, very well this year. So talk about your first one.
Listen, and I want people to know I don't pay attention to certain aspects of my choices. Okay. So the fact that I accidentally chose the same conference and maybe number 1 and 2 was an accident. Okay.
Mhm.
It's just how I felt. And that's what I'm going with. Okay.
Okay.
It's off season. I can be wrong. I'm probably not, but I could be.
Mhm.
So I will start with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Who ended the season 14-3.
I think this is a great choice. It was one of my top choices, but you took it.
Yeah, thank you
Mhm.
for that. I just think there are so many factors about this team that were happenstance this year for them to end up 14-3. Okay, you've got the team who won the most comeback games. They had 12 games that they won based on a comeback, and 11 of those were 1 score or less
Mhm.
wins. So winning games, but like
Barely.
not dominating people and questionably winning some games, right?
Always having to come back like that is such a bad way to like depend on the next season.
100%. And so, and it's easy to like look at their team and be like, wow, they were so great all year long. It just happened to be that their quarterback goes out in the playoffs and then they didn't make the Super Bowl. Well, okay. But let's take it a step further. Let's look at Bo Nix and how he did over the 2025 season. He regressed from the 2024 season, right? And so although the team overall looked better and their record was better, it's a little misleading that he wasn't actually as efficient and as good, more or less, than he had been the prior season. You also have to take into consideration, Michelle, the ankle injury, right? Is it severe? Is it not? Is it going to alter the way that he plays, based on like trying not to get hurt, all of these things. So now I think their defense will continue to be elite. I don't think a defense like that, very much like the Seahawks and or the Texans, right? I don't think those just fall off after one season, right? But there's questions about running back. What are they going to get this offseason? What are they going to do there? And then again, as Bo goes, I think the Broncos go, they're not getting close to 14 games next year.
Yeah, I mean, the defense is going to have to do so much again. And obviously they have to retain some free agents on the defensive side.
Right.
And the sacks they got this year were outlandish. It's really hard to repeat that.
Mhm.
Like there's been many of teams who had massive sacks one year. And even if you just come back down to league average, that's a huge difference. Like that can be huge, or even like obviously above average too, but that's still going to be a huge difference. And then you mentioned, like, I don't know how much I fully believe in Bo Nix.
Yeah.
And right now it's Cortland Sutton and Troy Franklin and RJ Harvey and Evan Ingram, like not an amazing group of guys.
No.
Yeah.
And I think to your point, I don't think you need it's hard to say, superstar in every position. You need a lot of role playing folks. And I just don't know that little
Jordan Humphrey.
Little Jordan Humphrey is going to get it done.
My favorite name though. I want him
I
in the
know.
league forever.
With someone like Bo Nix.
Yeah. No, and he's not, but it's just fun to say. They definitely have to add some weapons. I like Troy Franklin. I just don't like Cortland Sutton is fine, but as a top wide receiver who you need a guy that can get 150 targets, and that's just not Sutton. And then Sean Payton just handed over play calling duties, which is massive, to Davis Webb, which I kind of love because Sean Payton, like a veteran type of coach like that, actually taking control and being like, you know what? I can let someone else do this and see if it can be a little bit better because the play calling in the playoffs was iffy. That's for sure. So I think with all the ways they won this year, I can definitely see them falling down a bit.
Right.
But that comes down to, can Patrick Mahomes get back and be healthy and win some games in the division? Can the Chargers not fall apart, please, for once?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And then the Raiders will always be terrible.
Yeah.
So it really will come. I do agree with you. I think it'll come down to the
Chargers.
division and mostly the Chargers. Now, I know there's like a lot of talk out there that like the Chiefs could go and win 10.5 games, which I think is silly.
It all depends on when Holmes is back.
Right. Well, true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's enough question marks there for me, for the Broncos, for them to be a good pick here.
So I'm choosing a team that won the Super Bowl this year. And obviously, like, I'm not saying they're probably going to be a little bit worse, right? Winning a Super Bowl 2 years in a row.
Sure.
It's not easy. I'm not saying that they're just not going to win a Super Bowl. I think that we can see a few games off their record. They won 14-3 last year. I will not be surprised if they're fighting for 10 wins next year. They're in a very hard division. With the
maybe
Rams,
the hardest.
Yeah. The Rams, who I think are the best team in the league heading into next year. The 49ers, even if they're depleted a bit on size, they just keep winning games. You know, they're always going to be hard. And then the Cardinals, a team that I think is going to make a big turnaround next year. So a very hard division right off the bat. And Super Bowl hangover is real. I mean, you have to play into February.
Yes.
With a lot of the teams are playing next year, got off in January, early January. Like, that's a big difference. And you want it, right? It's hard to like want to climb that, not want to, but to have all the energy to climb that hill again after you won. It's not an easy thing to do.
I have a question for you though. Do you think it's just your like very gut visceral like hate for Sam Darnold that is just like kind of masking itself as like, okay, he got a Super Bowl, there's no way he's going to play well again next year. You know, he was good this year.
Well, the defense was amazing.
Yes.
Right?
Hands down.
Yeah. So there's that. And it's hard to repeat again, like being that good of a defense. And they have a lot of free agents on defense right now. They have Reek Woolen. They have Josh Jobe and Kobe Bryant. Those are all starters. So that's 2 corners and a starting safety that are free agents. They have a lot of money, so maybe they can re-sign them. But they also have to have 2 massive contracts coming up this offseason, most likely. In Devin Witherspoon, their star corner, they're going to have to pay him, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. So it was really nice to have these amazing studs on rookie contracts, but now you're going to have to pay them this offseason. And those are going to be, Devin Witherspoon could easily be the most highest paid corner. And Jackson Smith-Njigba, I don't know if he's going to be Jamar Chase's contract, but he's going to ask for it.
Right.
So it's going to be near $40 million a year.
And coming off a Super Bowl win, as he should.
Yeah. And coming off Offensive Player of the Year.
Right.
Like, and the season he did, he's going to be asking for a ton.
Yeah.
They lost Clint Kubiak. I think that's going to be massive, their OC, because as good as Mike McDonald is as a head coach, he's the defensive guy.
Right.
So he's always going to have to find new offensive guys. And this can be hard. And again, because they won the Super Bowl, they were so late to the offensive coordinator trying to find him. So they hired Brian Fleury, which is a total wild card. Has no play calling experience whatsoever, only has 1 year as a coordinator. He was a run game coordinator for the 49ers. You don't know what you're getting out of him.
You're not wrong.
Kenneth Walker, a free agent. They're going to have to pay him. They want to keep him. He's going to be probably paid the most of the running backs this offseason.
Yeah.
Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker.
Wild.
And then Zach Charbonnet tore his ACL in the playoffs.
Right.
All these things combined with, I mean, they had an insanely easy second half of the schedule too, but we won't even have to get into all that. It's just, I think there's a disappointment that's coming for Seahawks fans next year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't know that the drop off is going to be like crazy, but
like 10 wins. 10,
which would be a lot for them, you know, having gone 14-3. So yeah, I think that's a good pick.
10 wins, fighting for a playoff spot there at the end, probably losing the wild card round, whatever. But I mean, they also had a pretty nice schedule for like I said, the second half of the season, getting to play the Patriots in the
Right. I'll get to that.
getting to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl, like it all lined up for them very, very nicely.
Totally.
So we are picking the two teams in the Super Bowl.
I mean,
and again, we're not just saying they're not getting to the Super Bowl because that would be so easy.
Right. I mean, out of 32 teams, it's like, I have to pick two that are going to make the Super Bowl. Jets and Dolphins. But okay, so my second team, and I'm curious what your last team is, so I can see the record. But and again, this was not intentional, but I did pick the New England Patriots. They went 14-3. Like I mentioned last season, and they coasted to that 14-3. I mean, let's be honest, easiest regular season schedule, right? We all know this
playoff schedule.
Well, and then they get to the playoffs. They're playing a broken down offensive tackles from the Chargers, right? And then the Chargers were less than impressive in the playoffs, right? And then you play the Texans, who imploded offensively.
You just had Stroud do anything, they would have won.
Gave them 2 touchdowns, right? And we still only lost by 11, so I'm not bitter still. And then we didn't even have Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz gets hurt at the beginning of that game. Nico Collins was already out. So, offensively, the Texans were a nightmare. So not super hard to beat them, unfortunately.
Or a wet dream if you're the Patriots.
Okay. I hated that you just said that. And then in the AFC Championship, you play a quarterback that has not stepped foot on the football field all season long.
For like 3 straight seasons. It was like an absurd amount of days.
I was just being nice about
like
saying
1,000
all
something
season.
days.
Yeah. So to me, it's like you had a cakewalk to the Super Bowl, and that even probably is an understatement. And I'm not gonna knock that. Like, they went from winning 4 games the prior 2 seasons to winning 14. Like, yes, to some extent it's impressive, and to some extent they do deserve credit for that. Mike Vrabel's first year there, Drake May being the guy and having this really great season. MVP talks about MVP for the season, right? So I don't want to diminish any of that, but it's not going to happen again, okay? Not to mention, they won 7 games by fewer than 6 or less points. So again, coming back to what we just talked about with the Broncos is like, can you continue that? Like, can you continue to win those games? That's half the games you won.
Yeah.
By less than 6 points, okay? So, I mean, I just think like 14 games, no chance, Then you've got Drake May, who only had 8 interceptions all season. Okay. He was having a very, very good year. Well, then you start playing teams that are over 500 in the playoffs. He has 4 in the postseason. So it's like you doubled your interceptions in 4 games.
Yeah.
When you had 8 in,
or did half
17.
Of what you did. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that doesn't bode well. And then we get to the sacks. Okay. This man spent most of his time on the ground this year. Okay. The Patriots have to figure out what to do with their offensive line to protect Drake May in this offseason. If they do not do that, he will continue to get sacked. He had 47 sacks in the regular season, 21 in the postseason. He led the league in sacks with 68. That is bananas.
8 more than any other player.
8 more than any other player. Crazy. So, I mean, here's the thing. I think the Patriots have to go figure out their offensive line.
They need more weapons.
They need more weapons. And they're running back pretty good, right? They're figuring that out. But I mean, I think there's a lot of question marks here that everything aligned for them this year. Everything happened to other teams to make them successful this year in the sense of getting to the Super Bowl.
The 2 things I'll say. This season they got lucky with the schedule. Everything worked out. Do I think if they played a harder schedule? No. But I do think Drake May, another year with Vrabel and the system, and then get him actual weapons, like what he did with just Stephon Diggs at his age and coming off an injury, and Demario Douglas and Kayshon Boutte and those guys. Like,
Sure.
they can get him better weapons and it could be better.
I agree.
But also, they get 4 free wins because they get to play the Jets and the Dolphins twice next year. That's 4 free wins. So they only have to win 10 or so other games to make the playoffs. Like, I think they're still a playoff team, but yeah, I don't think there's. I would not.
You mean 6 or more? 6.
Yeah, they don't have to win 6 more games to win.
I was like, that would be 14, which
Yeah.
would be the opposite of what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right
no.
now. Okay.
So I still think they're a playoff team, but it's Super Bowl contender. I wouldn't put them at this year.
Sure.
Like you said, it's not just their regular season schedule. It's the fact that it kept going. Like, they could not get luckier and luckier and luckier throughout the playoffs.
Listen, and as a Texans fan,
Yeah.
it hurt so bad.
And then they didn't even look like in the same ballpark as the Seahawks.
They weren't
in the
even
Super Bowl.
close.
No.
It was like watching varsity play the freshmen.
Yeah, it
you
was
know.
bad. It was
Yeah.
exactly what everyone expected.
Yeah, it was.
All right. My other team and our last team, the Bears. The Bears.
Duh, Bears.
Went 11-6 last year, won the division. Their division is tough, right? They have the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings, and although they won the division last year, who knows what happens this year? Like, Packers fell apart at the end of last season with Parsons' injury. The Lions, I fully expect them to bounce back. I don't know what was happening with them last year. And the Vikings, they really came along at the end of the season. They won 9 games. It just was too little, too late. But
Right.
real quarterback, Kirk Cousins comes back. Justin Jefferson. Oh, you would be so good in fantasy again.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, and then just they would win. They would win a lot of games, right?
Yeah, their defense picked it up in
Yeah.
the second half of the
Brian
season.
Flores is such a good DC.
Yes.
He's so good. Stupid Steelers for letting him go. But the Bears, so I don't necessarily think the Bears are going to be bad, but I think they could get better, like grow with Ben Johnson and still win fewer games. Because hear me out. They had to come back nonstop. And again, this does not work. They won 6 games when trailing at or after the 2-minute warning. So that means 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They were trailing at or after that, and they won 6 of those games, most in the NFL. It was the most in any season since at least 1983. That's as far back as I can look at that data.
Wow.
The most games won in those type of situations. Like, absurd.
Yeah.
Absurd. That luck does not last.
Right.
So we saw that, right? They had that luck again in the Packers against the Packers in the wild card round.
Mhm.
Then they tried to have that luck again against the Rams. It did not work in
Right.
the divisional round. Like, sooner or later, it's going to fall apart. And although there was a lot of parts of Caleb Williams' game that looked better from his from his rookie year to his second year, well, he got Ben Johnson. He still had the lowest completion percentage among all qualified quarterbacks this year
Wow.
at 58.1%.
Yikes.
He was the only, again, at 58, he was the only other qualified quarterback to have lower than a 60 completion percentage was Cam Ward.
Mm.
So
You don't want to be named with Cam Ward, that's for sure.
you definitely don't. And so he still has a lot of progress to go. And the one thing that the Bears did amazingly this year was defensive takeaways.
Mhm.
Their defense was turnover machine.
Yes.
That is also very, very fluky. They had 33 takeaways this year. That
Wow.
helps you win a lot of games.
Sure does.
And those are fluky. The ball can bounce one way or the other. Those can easily fall down by a lot.
Mhm.
And then they have Kevin Byard, an all-pro safety. He's a free agent. Jaquan Brisker, their starting safety, also a free agent. CJ Gardner-Johnson. So 3 of their safeties that play all the time. Kevin Byard, Jaquan Brisker, and CJ Gardner-Johnson, all free agents. Their starting corner, Nashawn Wright, is a free agent. Their starting defensive tackle, Andrew Billings, is a free agent. They have to figure out who they can keep and who they can't, but there's a lot of, I think like this year just kind of went perfectly for them and all these comebacks. And as much as I don't want the Bears to fall apart, I think they're an 8-9 win team next year. Even though I love Ben Johnson, I'm not giving up on Caleb Williams, but a
lot needs to go right for them
Yeah.
again this year, and
Mhm.
it's not necessarily winning in the last 2 minutes.
and with all
it's
that going right,
making the
they
right-
won only 11, well, not only, but 11 games.
Right.
And everything had to go right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's making the right choices
Mhm.
in free agency, and Caleb Williams continuing to get better with Ben Johnson.
And then I guess having to have all the luck with the turnovers and the coming back at the end.
Yeah. That's a good choice.
Thank you.
It's a good choice.
It was between the Bears and the Broncos, but you went Broncos. So then I went Bears.
So you went Bears.
All right. That is it for the main part of our show today, but we still have our 2-minute warning. We're going to do something a little different, a little fun today. They just came out saying there shouldn't be a lot of rule changes in the NFL this year. Like they're not hearing a lot of teams complaining, so that we shouldn't hear about too many rule changes, but we're going to give you one rule change each that we would love to see happen in the NFL.
2-minute warning.
All right, let's close out today's show. But I want to know, Nycole, what is one rule that they can come out with this year or in future years in the NFL that would just make you so happy?
Yeah, I think a really great option here, and it's coaches being able to challenge the roughing the passer call. I think so many times I've been watching games, and I watch it's 3rd and forever, and somebody like Patrick Mahomes is trying to shuffle around and do all the things to continue the play. And then boom, flag, roughing the passer, changes the entire momentum of the team on defense and sometimes even gets other teams to score. And I hate it, especially when it's the wrong call, right? Like, so I think having coaches be able to challenge roughing the passer would do a few things, right? If it's right, great. They can continue on like they normally would have. No harm, no foul. That coach lost his challenge. Fine. But when it's not right, it is infuriating, right? As a fan. I think, and even as a fan, like if they call it against CJ Stroud, like I still feel icky about it when I know good and well that was not roughing the passer and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
Right. So I think what it does, I think, is takes the bias from refs and folks of saying like, oh, well, this is a guy like a Patrick Mahomes, right? Or quite frankly, a Josh Allen, right? So we got to throw the flag. I think it takes a little bit of that bias away because they know a coach can challenge this and we can reverse the call. So I think it allows it, or it makes refs think, another second before they throw that flag. So I think honestly, it can lay balance. Thank you. I'm like, what is this? The playing field a little bit more for quarterbacks.
Also, a really good idea I just came up with while you're talking was that like maybe, in the NBA where they have the flagrant foul or like the technical or whatever, or just a regular foul.
Yes.
That could be a part of roughing the passer. It doesn't have to be one fits all because there's somewhere it's like it hits the helmet slightly after the pass. Like it had nothing to do with the play. It clearly wasn't meant to hurt the quarterback. They didn't mean it, just happened to be. But cool if you want to call a foul because it's a foul, right? But that should be 5 yards, not just an automatic first down. 5 yards, whatever. 5 yards. And if it happens, they give them first down because all they needed was 5 yards and fine.
Sure.
And then if it's flagrant, where it was like, that was excessive, over the top, that's when they get the automatic first down 15 yards.
Sure. Okay. I like the layering there that you did, right? Thanks. So like a common foul. That's what we call it in the NBA.
Yeah.
Or like flagrant or, whatever verbiage they want to use. I like it.
It shouldn't be all like when a guy like literally destroys the quarterback and you're like, ooh, that shouldn't be the same thing as when they like blow on them.
And when he's like already running and he's a 250-pound man and he's just like, sorry, I breathed on you, bro. I agree with you.
Yeah. Mine is never going to happen, but especially not this year or anytime soon. But this is what I would love the most. There should be absolutely no ties in the NFL.
100%.
We are American football.
Okay. That took a weird turn really fast.
We are American football. We are not football. There's no ties.
There's just no need for it. There are alternate options that can keep us from tying.
Yeah. No, it's just so silly to play a full game with the amount of, I think in any sport, but soccer, their fans like ties. I don't know. It's weird. I've already tried to fight with them about it. They're fine with it. Be weird. If you want to waste 3 hours of your life for nothing to happen, then do it. I don't want to do it. I want to see an outcome that makes sense. And they can do it because college football figured it out. We already have it figured out with another sport.
Right.
They also have to play it every week. So it's not like, oh, they can't handle this. Like, no, we already have it figured out in college football. They don't tie. Do the same thing. And if you don't want to start it right off the bat, then do the 10 minutes of the regular overtime. And then if it's still tied, then you move to the college rules. And instead of waiting for the second overtime or whatever in college to make them do the 2-point conversion, just do it right away.
Mhm.
Like if you score the touchdown from the 20, you have to do the 2-point conversion. It'll make it quicker, whatever. But like, there's just no reason for a tie ever.
I agree with you.
What a
I
waste
just-
of everyone's time.
It just feels so ridiculous. Like it feels like a YMCA game
Yeah.
at that point. It's like, don't worry, guys, we all tied. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
It's so silly.
I would rather lose.
I would literally rather lose than
Yeah.
a tie.
That's-
I would
agree with you.
100% rather lose.
I agree with you.
But
But they don't ask us to make the rules or be GMs, so
But I just don't get it when the step lower has it figured out and you can't figure it out.
see. But here's the thing with that, honestly, and this is because I don't come from NFL like in my previous life. The NFL is like one of the most like archaic organizations.
Mhm.
You know, like NBA used to be like top tier, like wow, they've got everything figured out. They're very, progressive, forward, whatever. NFL is not that way.
Well,
So I
know.
think to your point, I think they look at college and they're like, well, we're NFL. We're not going to do that. It's like, well, they figured it out and we're happier with them.
But also when you're watching a college game and it goes in overtime, you're like, oh man, this is so exciting. Like college overtime is so much fun.
Yeah.
With their rules. And then NFL overtime, you're like, oh
Yeah.
10 more
It might
minutes.
be a tie.
Yeah, you're like 10 more minutes, and it's just like whoever wins the coin toss, and it's just miserable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Figure it out, NFL. Thank you. All right. That's it for today's episode. That's it of us complaining. Maybe we'll come back next week with a happier topic. I mean, we'll be back next week, but I'm just saying with a happier topic. Or maybe we'll complain more.
Well, I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah,
so-
I'm great at it. All right. We'll talk to you next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Analyst in the Armchair. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on socials, leave us a review, and comment to let us know what you'd like to hear next time.